Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Mary Moo Show, and my name is Mary Moo, and I'm here every single Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Pop that in your diary, sharing some good music and sharing my thoughts, and occasionally we have a conversation with a guest just to spice things up a bit. And sometimes we do things a bit different, like we're going to be doing today. So we're going to get into that after our usual little break. We like to kick things off with some music, and then we'll come back and have a chit chat. That's what we like to do. So let's waste no time. Let's just get into it. Let's get your evening going. We're going to listen to the first three artists. Who are they? Jackie LaGreer with "Did It For Me." One of those songs that reminds you when you look around the world that, you know, God, it is, what a beautiful world we do live in. And I know some things are crazy, but there's some things that make me think, wow, this world is actually beautiful. Like when you go on holiday, you might not think it when you're where you are, but when you go on holiday, you think, oh my goodness, look at the sea. Look how clear it is. For all of those of you who went on holiday, you look at the beach, you look at everything else, you think, wow, this is stunning. Wow. And I love this song because it really is a bit like, God, sometimes I feel like you did all this for me. Like you really did this for me. This is so beautiful. Anyway, Jackie LaGreer, you're going to love that one, especially if you've got the holiday blues or you're just back from holiday. Anyway, also Hovey, Used By You. We'll follow up with Hovey track, Used By You, and then Shalini with Never Let You Go. Why not? This is Jackie LaGreer with Did It For Me, and I'll be right back.
Look what you created. Everything surrounding me, you made it. Everything's so beautiful the way it flows together. I think I hear birds singing your praises. Amen. I swear you make me feel like I'm your favorite. Oh, it's the way the birds fly across the sunset sky. I feel like you did it for me. It's the way your love feels. It's the way that I hear all of creation singing with me. It's the way the fruit grows and knows when to let go. And it's time again for a new season. I feel like you did it for me, yeah. Listen to the water, listen how it flows. You really thought of everything. I wonder how much I miss getting caught up in things you never meant me to. All that this world could offer will never satisfy me like just being with your father. Oh, wow. It's the way the birds fly across the sunset sky. I feel like you did it for me. It's the way your love feels. It's the way that I hear all of creation singing with me. It's the way the fruit grows and knows when to let go. And it's time again for a new season. I feel like you did it for me, yeah. What was it like? The moment that you spoke and everything around you changed and things came to life. Was it beautiful when you saw everything you made? And it's crazy to think in the midst of it all, you already knew my name. And the more that I seek you, the more I'm in awe. I can't help but feel this way. It's the way the birds fly across the sunset sky. I feel like you did it for me. It's the way your love feels. It's the way that I hear all of creation singing with me. It's the way the fruit grows and knows when to let go. And it's time again for a new season. I feel like you did it for me, yeah.
Holy Spirit, speak through me. Yeah. Hey. Ooh, I wanna be used by you. Ooh, I wanna be used by you. When I look at my son, it's bringing me joy. The way that you looking at me made me feel like I won the award. Feel your breath when they press and record. In the booth, we just on one accord. With these verses, I'm going to war. I'm the stain for you, call me your boy. I just wanna be used by my father, cause the point is to show him my Abba. I just feel like the time is upon us. We the children in need of his guidance. I don't need no AP to live in this timing. Like it's shady, we still not afraid. Tell my lady I'm here to the grave. Put me in like I play for the Braves. You had a good run, but he closing the game. Yeah. Behold him, build this with your own hands. Share your glory with no man. Leave my heart wide open. Tell me when the walls was closing. Now your water's flowing. I can't stop this moment. Stand on the top, see it all bitter. When I stand on the rock, see it all clearer. Yeah, my pops told me about a pallbearer who can open caskets, he a soul stealer. When you look at my jeans, you can't compare them. Cause the spirit of God gave me raw denim. Had voids in me, only God filled them. Never thought he'd ever put a cross in them. Ooh, I wanna be used by you.
Mountains and valleys I felt in my life. You carry me all the way through. Ups and the downs, yeah, I've seen in my life. You're holding me all the way through. So won't you take my all? I keep fighting, but I surrender. I said, won't you take my all? I keep making the same mistakes, Lord, I can't do this on my own. Said I tried and I tried and tried and tried, but Lord, won't you take my all? I keep making the same mistakes, but Lord, I know you will never let me go. You will never let me go. You keep chasing me even when I feel alone. You will never let me go, me go. Said you will never let me go. You will never let me go. You keep chasing me even when I feel alone. You will never let me go, no. You will never let me go. You will never let me go. You keep chasing me even when I feel alone. You will never let me go, me go. Said you will never let me go. You will never let me go. You keep chasing me even when I feel alone. You will never let me go. I got my helmet on and my armor ready to fight. I know it won't be long till you come back for your bride. So Lord, I'll stay strong. No, I will not leave you, not for anything or anyone. I said I'm holding strong and I sing like, won't you take my all? I keep fighting, but I surrender. I said, won't you take my all? I keep making the same mistakes, Lord, I can't do this on my own. Said I tried and I tried and tried and tried, but Lord, won't you take my all? I keep making the same mistakes, but Lord, I know you will never let me go. You will never let me go. You keep chasing me even when I feel alone. You will never let me go, me go. Said you will never let me go. You will never let me go. You keep chasing me even when I feel alone. You will never let me go, no. You will never let me go. You will never let me go. You keep chasing me even when I feel alone. You will never let me go, me go. Said you will never let me go. You will never let me go. You keep chasing me even when I feel alone. You will never let me go, no.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Mary Moo Show. My name's Mary Moo, and I'm here every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. We usually, get my words sound, usually listening to some good music, having some great conversation, and just chilling for the hour. And we've just been listening to Jackie LaGuerre, Did It For Me, and Holvey, Used By You. Why not? Oh, let me be Used By You. And then Shalini with Never Let Me Go. Okay, so what are we going to do today? I did say it's going to be a bit different. And I took my inspiration from reaction videos. I don't know if you know a friend or you've actually watched a reaction video before. And by that I mean, when a new track drops or when a new movie's out or something like that, or something is out on the news, like something's just out there for us to listen to or watch, whatever. Some people film themselves listening to that or watching that for the first time. And I don't know, if you're like me, I actually really do like looking at reaction videos when something has dropped that's actually quite monumental, or something that I think this is amazing. I wonder if anybody else felt the exact same way that I did when I watched this or listened to it. Case in point, so there is a hip hop group that's out. They're called Coast Contra, and they're very different because they're just really good artists. They're just brilliant. Their lyrical skill is brilliant. Just what they stand for, just a bunch of godly men just in the hip hop scene. So anytime they drop a track, it's really kind of like a moment, like how the wordplay, because you're going to get really good wordplay, you're going to get a good beat, you're going to get everything really, really, really good. So they dropped a new one after being off for it felt like ages, and they tend to do that. Maybe that's in their strategy. I don't know. But anyway, they dropped a track. And immediately after I listened to it, I thought, no way did they just do this. I'm going to go and react. So I went online and binged on a couple of reaction videos and laughed. But it's important because as people are watching or listening, what they're doing is really going through the song, really going through it to see the reasons behind the song, reasons why they did this, or what does that word mean. That's why I love watching that, because you get people who are really knowledgeable about the whole hip hop scene, about history, different stuff, and they say, this is what they meant when they said this. This is why this is important. This is why that was that. For example, there's this one line in the Coast Contra track where they talked about this god Aten. And I was thinking, because it rhymed with what they was talking about, like, putting their trust in God, stuff like that. I thought, what does this mean? And I had an assumption that this sounds very Egyptian for what it is. And from the review videos, someone was able to actually say this is a god that a pharaoh made everybody bow down to and worship. But the moment he died, they all stopped worshipping the sun god. Hence why the religions all died out. And they realized that actually you only did it because you were forced to. You didn't do it because you didn't have that faith to do it. So he was talking about that whole scene in that thing. So it made me think, do you know what? Today what we're going to do is we're not going to, obviously they're not new songs, but we're going to actually react. We're going to break down some songs. And the reason why I think it's important to do so is because I remember when I first started leading worship, the pastor of the church that I went to then, he really made us do word studies. He said, you're not coming out here just singing songs. What's the song about? Just because we sing at the church, you have to. There was a real emphasis on studying before you even go out and minister something, because we weren't just looked at as people who were just singing songs or just the worship team. There had to be a bit more to it than just worship. What are you singing about? Do you just like the song? Do you just like the song so you want to sing that? And then it was quite difficult, because what he would make us do is study the songs, but also pray about it. But he wouldn't tell us what songs to sing. He'd be like, if you've prayed enough and studied, God will let you know what songs to sing, and it will roll with the message. So there was this like a task on us every Sunday to really pray about the songs we was going to sing and really study them and make sure that we knew what we were singing and why. Because actually what you would find is actually 9 out of 10, actually probably 10 out of 10 times when we did that, the message will be about what we sung, or even if it wasn't about what we were singing, the power of God will move so much that you'll know why you had to sing those songs. Or people say that song ministered to me, as opposed to just having a collection of songs that you just feel good about. And then you later begin to understand why you have to study them and really listen to them and react to them yourself before ministering them, because you realize, this song's actually nothing to do with worship and praising. This song is just somebody's heartfelt thingy. We're not singing that now, unless God has asked me to sing that for a particular reason. But no, I can't sing that song. So, we would have to do that. And as a writer myself, I don't know if some of you do know, I used to be signed to a record label that were part of Sony. So I was not signed as a singer. I was signed as a writer because I didn't actually want to do any singing anyway. Writing was my thing, and I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to write songs, always have been. And I was so happy that I actually got that gig. And if those of you have heard of a band called Blazing Squad, then you would know the producers behind that is who I was signed to. So I was signed to Sony as a writer, and how I got that gig was actually quite something. I knew. So one of the producers, he was friends with one of my brother's. His friends was my brother's friend's uncle, if that makes sense, yeah? So my brother's friend had an uncle who was friends with one of the producers who knew him. And I remember saying to him, look, I really want to be a writer. They're putting out all these songs, because I don't even remember Blazing Squad and that back in those days are putting out hit after hit after hit. And they did the Both Works and Harmony, Crossroads thing, all of that business. So it was really big. And they'd had other artists signed to Virgin and Def Jam and things like Def Jam UK, different things like that. So I remember thinking, oh, wow, like, you know somebody who you know? I said, I want to be a writer. So he was so nervous. He begged his uncle, his brother. It was his brother. I think I kept thinking it was his uncle because they were a lot older. But anyway, his brother, one of them, to give me the number of this guy. And I called them up and I was like, hi, my name's Mary. I got your number from my friend's thingy. And he said, I can have a number. I want to be a writer. And he went, so you want to write? Okay. He goes, are you free? He literally, are you free on Wednesday this time? I went, yeah. I just remember, just say yes. I said, yeah, I'm free. He goes, right, come down here. We're going to play you No. Yes. He goes, come down here. Okay. But they said, look, I'm going to send you a track. He gave me like a day. I said, I'm going to send you this track. What's your email address? I'll send you this track. Be at the studios at this time. If you're good, he went, if you're good, then you'd have a hook that we like for this track. If you're good, then you'll have a hook. He goes, but if you're our kind of style, then you'd have at least a verse or something written to it. And for me, I remember thinking, oh, this is going to be easy, because I've been writing all day long, and not just all day long, just growing up from a kid, I've been writing songs, and I kind of thought, is that it? I've been used to writing songs like that, just songs were flowing in and out of me, and I thought, okay, fine, I think I can do it. I said, okay, I'll be there. He gave me like about 24 hours. So as soon as he sent me the track, immediately a song came, and I wrote the whole thing from the beginning to the end with the bridge, everything. Went over it. It was a song called Dinero, and it was, and I used the Spanish word of money because I didn't want it to be money, just about money, because a lot of groups then, Destiny's Child, all that was bringing out songs about money, and I forgot her name, Money Don't Say You Love Me. Well, the girl who did that song, she just brought out money. So I kind of thought, okay, I'm writing a song about money, but I don't want it to be just called money. I'm going to flip it, because I had a friend who was Spanish, and I told her, what's the Spanish for money? She went, dinero, and it just rhymed with everything else. She just flowed. So I go to the studio, and they were just sort of sitting there unimpressed, literally wanted to go home. And I went, okay, get in the booth and just tell us we'll just loop it, and then whatever. So they were on their phones, weren't even focusing. I just got into the studio, the music dropped, dun, 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 and then I started singing. And then we recorded that. They don't let me leave. We recorded that song there and then, and that's how I got signed. So coming into the whole church scene after being saved, I kind of adopted the same kind of thing, whereas where he's singing songs, and I want to make sure what we're singing has meaning. I want to make sure what we're singing has, makes sense. I want to make sure what we're singing actually delivers what it's supposed to be doing, which is everything goes straight to God. It's about God. It's not a moment for me it's not X Factor or something for me to shine myself. This is different. And I want to make sure the songs that I'm singing has an impact on somebody's life that actually transfers them directly to God. Okay, so I'm going to quit talking for now, because I'll talk for a bit, isn't it? And then we're going to come back and do the reaction. So let's listen to a couple of tracks, and then we'll be right back. So what we're going to listen to, Stevie Valentine, Let Go and Let God. Listen to that. Cortez has got a new track out, actually, so we'll listen to that. Cortez Mean Something, and then we'll be right back. So we will listen to Stephen Valentine, Let Go and Let God. I will see you after the break.
Stress when it gets hard, gotta let go and let God. it gets hard. Gotta let go, let God. Gotta let go, let God, yeah. I know you're broken and scarred, broken and scarred. Gotta heal your heart, heal your heart. Don't stress when it gets hard. Gotta let go, let God, yeah. Look, in your life, God's about to do a new thing. Generational curse are breaking. Your broken past left you hurting. Know that God will turn around your situation. And anytime you're down feeling worthless, remember no one cares for you like Jesus. God is by your side, you ain't hopeless. You're free from depression, hope you know this. And God is breaking chains of addiction. No more depression, peace and there's freedom. The nights in your room crying all alone. Don't you know it's God that gave you strength to carry on? Yeah, God's your strength, so just hold on. Yeah, God's your peace, so just stay strong. Been through a lot, now you feel numb. I hope you're ready, cause your testimony will come, yeah. Don't stress when it gets hard. Gotta let go, let God. Gotta let go, let God, yeah. I know you're broken and scarred, broken and scarred. Gotta heal your heart, heal your heart. Don't stress when it gets hard. Gotta let go, let God, yeah. And God will make your broken past beautiful. Your healing's right here, restoration too. You don't need to fear about that medical report. Have faith, God is healing you. It's hard to sleep with a broken heart, yeah. It's hard to watch your family fall apart. I hope you're letting go, letting God. You're not a slave to your faults of past, yeah. Don't stress when it gets hard. Gotta let go, let God. Gotta let go, let God, yeah. I know you're broken and scarred, broken and scarred. Gotta heal your heart, heal your heart. Don't stress when it gets hard. Gotta let go, let God, yeah. Don't stress when it gets hard. Gotta let go, let God. Gotta let go, let God, yeah. I know you're broken and scarred, broken and scarred. Gotta heal your heart, heal your heart. Don't stress when it gets hard. Gotta let go, let God, yeah. I just wanna praise you. I just wanna praise you. I just wanna praise you. I'ma praise you for the highs and lows. Praise you for the highs and lows. Yeah. I'm just gonna praise you. Yeah. I've been here about 1,000 times. Oh, I done told about 1,000 lies. Oh God, and I don't wanna lie again. My pride comes in, coinciding, leave me missing. I've been trying to fight it, can't deny it. I heard in the silence. If you said it, then it means something. And you remind me that it's why you died and arrived to save from hell. Everybody's falling low, yet you call my soul. You have all control. I lay my life. I've been trying to fight it, can't deny it. I heard in the silence. If you said it, then it means something. If you said it, then it means something. Hey, if I read it, then it means you've spoken. Give me life in every word you wrote in. I don't ever wanna be this broken. still calling. Yeah, I'll fall in line. Yeah, I'll fall in line. Though I fall sometimes. Trust your promises. If you said it, then it means so. If you said it, then it means so. Hey, if I read it, then it means you've spoken. Give me life in every word you wrote in. I don't ever wanna be this broken. I'll fall in, yeah, I'll fall in line.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Mary Moo Show. My name's Mary Moo. We listened to Stephen Valentine, Let Go and Let God. And then we listened to Cortez, which was another great track called Mean Something. Now, I'm actually going to start with that Cortez track, actually, doing a bit of reaction to it. If you've just heard it, so you know exactly what it sounds like. Okay, so then about you, I'm going to think about what you got from that track when we listen to it. But I'm going to give you my reaction to what I felt about the track, and then we'll go into another one, and then the last one, and then we'll be out. So, Cortez Means Something. This is a song that's following down this theme of my, not unintentional theme of my reactions to these songs, all about being still. And I hope that my little history background to my music whole career, gives some kind of validation to why I can actually kind of do this, right? So I'm going to kind of mesh two things together. We're talking about the spiritual side of things and the way the song is. And I think that's a beautiful track to convey such a message. It's a new one, by the way. It's this new track he's just dropped. But I just love the way he's playing on words to convey such a message about being still and letting God take control. He brings us a couple of lines on this journey of pride, letting go of pride and letting go of things that are stopping him from believing who God is and what God can do. He takes us down this whole sort of journey, but he reinforces the same kind of message, the same kind of thing is, if you said it, he says, if you said it, then it must mean something. If you said it, if it's like reminding himself, if you said something, you're going to do what you said you will do. If you have said something, that reinforcement, if you've done any, I like what he says, I don't think 1,000 tries would suffice to save myself. I don't think as much as I do things in my own power and in my own way and in my own anything and everything, I don't see how I can save my own self the way you've saved me, literally dying, going to hell, because he says, you remind me why you died and arrived, just for me to know this one thing that, your promises are true, about trusting in your promises. I just love songs because they paint a picture and a good song should take you on a kind of journey, move you all the way through and reinforce certain points that, listen, God, I want to put away my pride. I have to trust you. If you've said something, then I'm going to be still and know that you are God. I'm going to stop trying. I'm going to stop doing it in my own strength. I'm going to let you do it. And that's why I love this song. That's why I love this song, because it really is an honest prayer. It's different from the other songs we're going to kind of talk about. It's an honest prayer saying, God, this is how I kind of feel, but hold on a minute. If you've said something, and I like the way he doesn't really finish off the thing. He just, if you said if you've said it, then it must mean something. It is going to work. And I don't know what stage you are in life. I hope that song ministered to you in that kind of a way. I hope it ministered to you to say, look, it just might seem a bit thingy, but you've said something. I'm going to hold on to your promises. I'm going to trust your promises, because that's why you died, went to hell, got the keys, and came back to remind me that I have authority and I have authority and power. But if you've said something, you mean it. And there's so many scriptures we can hold on to remind ourselves that, God, if you actually said something, you're not a man that should lie. So I'm not going to be out here worrying and stressing. And it's a light song. So if you just had it playing in the background, you could easily sometimes miss the words, miss the truth in it. So this is one of these songs. That's why I like these kind of gospel hydration tracks and these chilled out tracks, because yes, they work really well to kind of really calm you down in a different kind of genre of music, but they're very powerful in the words they're saying if they're using the scripture correctly. And this is a good, honest prayer, very David-like in his whole psalmistry of how David writes, you know. We're used to David saying things like, oh God, help my life, help me. But then also coming back with, wait a minute. You're God of angel armies. This is who, that prophetic voice in David's songs, the ultimate songwriter as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, this is Cortez's new track, Mean Something. And again, the title says it, mean something. What you say, God, means something. What you say, God, has substance. What you say, God, is true. And I'm going to trust in you. So no matter what you're going through, I hope that song ministered to you in that kind of a way. I really, really hope it does. And I really do hope when you listen to these songs, you can kind of sit back and just listen. So let's move on. We've got another track. So we're going to play this and then we're going to come back. This is none other than my girl, Anatolia. I'm looking forward to really going in on this one. So this is Anatolia. So please go ahead and listen, sit back. Funny enough, it's called Be Still. I'll see you straight after this. This is Anatolia with Be Still.
My eyes on you, I wanna reach out over you. Know you're feeling hollow, hiding my shadow. Your love calling, waiting to hold you. Cover your hurting, cover your hurting. And I don't care if you don't feel brand new. I'm in a feel avoiding you, feel avoid. No matter what you go through, I am still God. No matter what you go through, falling deeper. Be still, be still, be still. I am still God. Be still, be still, be still. I am still God. From my point of view, living all burned up ain't what I had in store for you. When you get lost in the world, come back to me, and now to take all your burdens, your burdens. Oh, and I don't care if you don't feel brand new. I'm here to fill a void in you, fill a void. Oh, cast out your cares on me, and then I'll exchange
everybody. That was Anatolia with Be Still. Now, if you don't know, Anatolia won the 2020 UK Voice show. So if you don't know, The Voice is like, it's a bit like the X Factor, but it's all about the voice. And she won it. And she, her single when she dropped that was the Robbie Williams Angels, one of my favourite Robbie Williams tracks. Anyway, and her voice, isn't her voice just perfect to convey such a message about being still? We're following this whole theme about being still, and she gives us a reason when she says, no matter what, you're still God. Now, it made me kind of think, right, okay, so in the scriptures, when we read about being still, and there's so many verses in that, but the one I'm picking up is in Psalms. I believe it's Psalm 17, if I'm correct. So in Psalms, David writes about being still. And what does he mean by being still? And I looked at the origins of that word, as we like to do. And that's still, that word, really means to sink and relax. Almost, if you look at all the descriptions around that word, it's almost like let go, surrender, just bleh. Almost like just that. You know, when you get into you sit down on your bed or you're on a chair and you just kind of sink into it. You trust the bed and you trust the whole sofa to carry your weight and everything, and you just sink. It's like literally all those words are there in the description of this whole, what it means to be still. What David was talking about, being still. Just to sink back and relax. And what Anatolia did with her song and her stunning voice, that just really kind of, her voice is like, you know, like it's like running chocolate. It just kind of wraps around words and wraps around riffs, and she just, no wonder why she won The Voice, because she does have a very, very, very beautiful voice. It's not overpowering a song like, let's say, a Whitney or a Mariah in that kind of way. She just knows how to rap songs with like velvet, that, you know, just, and again, conveying a message that is so important for us. Because how many times in life have we found ourselves in situations that is difficult to be still? Now, I'll give you this. On the weekend, my sister, when I went to meet her in her church, she looked a bit she just looked a bit like something's happened. I thought maybe it's just the heat, because you know it was really hot and everyone felt like they were melting on the weekends. But what actually happened was she told me that she had a moment where they thought they lost my niece. She was just in the car, but anyway, they thought she was lost, and apparently she broke down and was crying and was screaming. And then afterwards, she said that she actually wondered whether, because we've been talking about, you know, the scriptures, things of God, and Spiritual Intelligence by Chris Fullerton from Bethel Church, and listening to all of that and really trying to really get that. It was wonderful, by the way, if you get the audio or listen to him on YouTube. But she was questioning, was she still in that moment? I said, okay, your human emotions are going to kick in, because you are going to wonder, where is my child? I mean, it was just here at church. Not it was anywhere else. It was at church. No one could find her, but she was in the car anyway. But at that moment, she really questioned whether she was still, whether she had that spiritual intelligence to trust God in that moment. And I started thinking myself, there are moments in time, we read these verses and it can seem like just do it anyway. But actually, these moments really test us. Can we really sink and let go and relax and just literally, like I listened to with the Stevie Valentine track, really let go and let God? Can we really actually do that? What can we do when we're in that situation? And I said to myself, I don't know what I'll do, but God, I just hope and pray. And I look back at times in my life when I felt really shaken. What did I do at that moment? And sometimes you can't pray. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing, but it's that calmness. I must say that sometimes there was a calmness within me that let me know that God was in control. So I hope that song ministered to you in just not just being just a beautiful track, but the message behind it. Be still. On that note, we're going to go to the next track. We're going to quickly review that and discuss that in a bit more depth, and then we're going to check it out of this place. This is Victory Boyd with El Shaddai. I will see you after this.
We lift up our eyes, we rebuke suicide, we cast all care aside, we bow down our pride, rescue us from the tide, on your wings lift us high, in the dark be a light, we need you on our side, El Shaddai, we need you on our side, El Shaddai, we need you on our side, El Shaddai. Let your cloud be our guide, let your fire lead at night, when our foes come to fight, we need you on our side, El Shaddai, we need you on our side, El Shaddai, we need you on our side, El Shaddai, tried it, God denied it, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Baal we bind, tell them why we riding with El Shaddai, El Shaddai.
Welcome back, everybody. That was Richie Boyd with El Shaddai. And this kind of brings to a conclusion following the same theme. Remember with Cortes Mean Something, we were talking about obviously trusting God in what he has to say. And again, that stillness and trusting. And then with Anatolia with obviously be still and learning that actually this is all about trusting in God as Rapha. That word is still Rapha, taken from Psalms 46 is what I took it from. But this song, El Shaddai, kind of wraps everything together because it really is about El Shaddai, God being the Almighty. And let's break it down a bit. So I hope you enjoyed it, by the way. El Shaddai obviously has Shaddai. El, we know, is God. Shaddai has so many really very powerful root meanings. Yes, it means almighty, but when you look in and you study it, it's like it's an overpowering almighty that it overpowers opinion, overpowers, like they have no way of being obviously of overpowering God in himself and however he wants to show himself. He is overpowering and almighty. And it's funny because in my mind, maybe it's because obviously I'm a child growing up, I don't know why, I kind of thought about something like those action figures when they're like the powerful as or whatever it is. It's not just God being like a superhero, just being I'm powerful and almighty, all the powers. This is like, no. This is even a step beyond that. This is something about overpowering power. But it also has a definition linked to something very quite enduring about God being all sufficient and being able to provide, being able to do that. The whole meaning obviously is linked to linked to breast, as in to be like, like how a mother feeds her child, that dependency, that all sufficiency. When a child has everything they have after being breastfed, it has the same root meanings in these words. So it's given us now an understanding that there is power, which kind of like battle and stuff like that, but also there is that other element about all sufficiency, being able to do all things in a caring, loving way. And in Psalm 46, where I took about be still and know from God, and you scroll up, it is the same kind of theme that David's writing about God being our refuge and our strength, God being, our strength, and also God of angel armies, God being able to fight and defend us. God being able to, that's exactly what he's talking about. He's strong. This is God. He in the midst of this, through all the earth. And he just, in the Psalms, I'm talking about Psalms 46 now, he really elaborates on the wonders of God, being God of angel armies, God of hosts. And I like that definition because it looks at, look in the skies, God being above every angel army, even having a power to overpower all the little demons that fly about, the principalities and all those kind of things. That's the God we can depend on as our refuge and our strength. That's why we can be still. And I like this song by Victory Boyd. And I first knew about her from one of my friends, actually. Said, she sent me one of her songs on Instagram. I was like, who is this wonderful person? This wonderful vocalist? Who is she? And I've come to love her music. I've come to love how she sings. But this song is very powerful, and it really is about God being almighty. And I like what she talks about, what she speaks about in that. And she takes us through this whole journey about that talks about the Israelites. You could, if you heard it, you're probably thinking, she talks about obviously a cloud by day, fire by night, and why God is the Almighty, and how she says, I'm riding with the Almighty. Like, listen, I don't care what you do, I'm riding with the Almighty. Her song is like a confidence in who God is, a confidence that he's this, he's done that. This is denied. Baal, we deny that, we do that, we stand because he is El Shaddai. And I really love that. Overpowering all opinions, he's El Shaddai. And it made me think about, because I've said on this channel many times, I've been studying Genesis and Exodus, and I look back to Genesis where God first reveals himself to Abraham then as El Shaddai. He says in Genesis 17, he says, look, Abraham, walk before me and be perfect. And my dad, actually, Dr. Yahya Boswell, he really preached a really good message about that. He said the way God said it to him was like, he wasn't walking perfect before. So now look, walk before me and be perfect. And there's a lot of things in the scriptures how God was walking beside, and then it gets to a stage when God's like, now walk before me and be perfect. So it's powerful anyway. But he reveals himself to Abraham at that point as El Shaddai. Bearing in mind, I was listening to another message that really talked about Abraham at that time. His actual name means like father of father. It's got father in it, and at that point he was actually fatherless. So in those days you weren't just called names for just because the way we do it now. There were titles. They were like things that really had your functionality inside of it. A lot of it did. A lot of it talked about or described that person, not the way I'm not saying we as in a lot of people I know. I mean, I had a friend called Fanta and Pepsi at one point, so let's go there. But it was titled. So, if people are calling him out, father this, and he actually has no children. And at this point, when God was telling him, look, listen, Abraham, listen. I am El Shaddai. I am almighty, and I can be all your sufficiency, everything you depend on, I can do that. And we see in Abraham's life to when he becomes Abraham and everything else, and his name changed, everything else. We see when he's gone through different things like famine and things like that. And bearing in mind, he didn't just leave where he came from, with just him and his wife and Lot and Sean. People actually followed him. So he's got a whole entourage of people following him who are suffering through, to go through famine, and he's moving them all around. It's a bigger thing than that. But at that point in time, God decides, like, I'm going to show you something. I'm revealing myself to you. Remember this, Abraham. I am El Shaddai. And that's just a little bit of how I study songs and things like that, because it helps me when I sing a song like this, You're El Shaddai. I remember things. Remember those moments when God said to Abraham this, when he didn't even have that, but all he had was a promise. I'm remembering this song now with Cortes and Mean Something, of saying, God, it might seem like it doesn't mean something. It might seem like nothing's happening, but you've said it. You have said it. You said to Abraham, you're going to be a father of many nations. You have said it. You have said it. You've said it. You've said it. To be still and know that you're God, that you can defend and you can make things work for me. You've said it when his life was on the line, when we feel like what's gone on with our life, you've said it. All this thing brings us around to one thing of knowing who God is and reminding ourselves of this same truth. He is El Shaddai, and I am going to be still. And what you have said, God means something. And Richard Boyd, the way she just tells this story, it is so powerful, isn't it? It's just so powerful. And another great song, great use of lyrics. So that's my kind of little reactions. I didn't film myself, I just talked about it. And I hope from these same things that you have kind of come to the same kind of conclusion or touched in some kind of way. Now, I'm going to leave you now. I'm going to leave you with some tracks. And again, as we listen to them, as we go through them, I hope they, again, reinforce what we talked about in the exact same way. So, I am going to play a song that I actually wrote when I came into the Christian scene of music. We had this track. It was the first single for the gospel girl group that I was managing. This was their second single. I think the first one was, second single, and this one was signed to a label that was in America. And I'm actually going to bring them, we're going to talk about a whole story, going to Nashville, everything. I think we should do that on the show one time, bring them all in and have a good kind of history on that side of music, what it actually means to be an artist and that in the Christian music world, cross Atlantic, we'll talk about all of those kind of things. But I'm going to play the song Confidence. And yeah, that's from Beautiful Remnant, so we'll play Confidence. And then Sunday, Air I Breathe, featuring Isabella Brown. That's another great one to listen to. And then we'll wrap things up. Actually, no, we won't wrap things up with just that. We'll continue. So after Sunday, then we'll listen to Ty Brazel, God is the Best. Why not? Because he is. And then we'll end things then with Aaliyah Lara, Praising You. Till next week. Guys, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Oh, I almost forgot. Before we go into our track list, I almost forgot. I think events. I've been sent a really, really good one that I think is worth sharing. A really, really good one worth sharing. That's coming up, okay? So this is happening on September the 23rd. 2023, so there's still time to get tickets and things like that. So I've had this lady on the show before. This is Pastor Simone, or Elder Simone, some of you know her. She pastors Ruach City Church in Birmingham, where I go, and she's got another event for her I Am That Woman, Night of Clarity, and it's on the 23rd. It's in Streatham Space Project in London Southwest. Let's go down south, everybody. And on Eventbrite, you can get the tickets. You can go ahead and get them. And it promises to be a really, really good night. Another one. And I went to the last one, so I can vouch for it. You're going to have a good time if you go down there. So this is what to expect. This is what they've told me. Inspiring breakout sessions, discover the principles of success. And actually, it's because she's been sharing all the different artists that are... coming on, going to be speaking, and she's got like a whole team of like really young up and coming professionals and different things like that, different mix of caliber of people today, talking about different things from property to everything else. So it's going to be really, really cool. So it's not just for an older generation, it's really is for everybody. So if you're Gen Z, come along. If you're millennial like me, come along. If you're Gen X, baby boomers, whatever you pop yourself in, come along, you're all going to gain. Yes, you're going to get inspiring breakout sessions, motivational speakers, practical strategies. I said gain Gain actionable insights to excel in your career, relationships, and personal growth. We love that. Networking, so you can get to connect with those driven young adults who share their aspirations. Faith and purpose, explore how faith can be your guiding light on the road to success. So that is happening on the 23rd of September at the Stratton Space Project. And there is another event actually that is come back again. If you ever have been to what's it called? The Poor Consecration by Charlotte Reed. There is another one that's coming up. This one's in October. I'll talk about that a bit more actually, because that one actually I think deserves a bit more time for us to kind of go into that one. But that one's coming up on the 2nd to the 6th of October. So that's coming up quite soon. So let's kind of prepare ourselves, yeah? And this one is going to be in Manchester. They're going to Manchester, guys. This one's going to be the Lighthouse Church in Manchester, in Salford, I believe. So we're going to talk about that in a bit more depth when closer to the time. But don't forget, you just check out I Am That Woman Night of Clarity on September 23rd. And I'll give a quick rundown of the event actually I just went to the screening of, it was basically the celebration of 40 years for the London Community Gospel Choir, and I was very, very pleased to receive some tickets to go there, to dress up and everything. There was a red carpet, pose on the carpet, blah, blah, blah. But it was very good to kind of really understand the history of the London Community Gospel Choir. I didn't know half those things. I didn't even know. And what was even interesting, it was quite interesting to see our Bishop John Francis popping up on the documentary as well. But I was like, I didn't even know he even knew anything. It was just really cool. It was very, very insightful. And they had another screening of a video that was going to be shown at the I Am Well Festival, which was called Black Strings, a group of orchestra that play where murders and shootings and things have just happened. And it was so powerful to think, why would you do that? But for them, it was like they want to change the memories of people, because some people just lose their loved ones. But that orchestra playing really shifts and just changes the atmosphere and the memory. And it's a very powerful thing. So check it out, guys, online. Black Strings and congratulate the London Gospel Community Choir. Other than that, it's time for me to get out of here and for you to listen to some great music. And I'll run through that again when we're going to listen to, because we've all probably forgotten about it now. Okay, so I said Sunday. We'll listen to Sunday with Air I Breathe, and that's featuring Isabella Brown. And I will see you next week. This is Sunday, Air I Breathe. Toodles.
Purify my dreams as I cover my face so they can see your face in me. Father, teach me how to fall in love with simple things. Surely I will give you glory for eternity. You are all I need. Once upon a time the mustard tree was just a seed. Grow my faith, oh Lord, and show me what is heavenly. Jesus, you're the truth, it doesn't matter how I feel. Whoa. I don't wanna be far from you. You're the air I breathe, you're the air I breathe. Help me abide in you. I don't wanna be far from you. You're the air I breathe, you're the air I breathe. Help me abide in you.
Show me where you are, 'cause life is so uncomfortable while I'm here in the dark. I walk the narrow path for you, but faith is just so hard. Pride is still my poison, but oh Lord, you know my heart. Praising God no cost, so help me use it as a weapon against the fallen one. Your grace is so much greater than all the sin I've done. You so loved the world that you gave your only son. I don't wanna be far from you. You're the air I breathe, you're the air I breathe. Help me abide in you. I don't wanna be far from you. You're the air I breathe, you're the air I breathe. Help me abide.